There we go. Yeah, that's working now. So you open her up and see what you think. I want to get your impression on it.
All right. Well, first impression, I love already the candy. I'm putting that in my pocket.
Yeah, save that for later.
Do you call this ECU, pretty much?
Yeah, it's just a little, that's the control module.
That's the control module.
So the idea is to keep it real lightweight but protected.
The fact that those control modules is a little bulky. They're a little big.
They can be.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of find a place to put it.
Yeah.
And what more, how safe you can secure it without it coming off and going to the prop.
Yeah.
With it being this small, it's so easy to hide it, put it in a way where
You kind of put it anywhere you want, whether it's on the frame, in your pocket.
So we have the module right here.
Yep,
and then
module,
the
push
control button, I presume, is the
Yep,
control button?
and the control button, really you can put it wherever you want to
Yes.
have access to it.
Yes.
It's made kind of with an indentation here.
I saw that, yeah.
So you can put it right onto your throttle cable.
Yes, you do, yeah.
So that's where I've got mine, and it works pretty well. We got the instructions, of course.
There you go.
Gotta throw in a few
Gotta have the
spares.
goodies right there.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, well laid out, and they're very well laid out instruction. I presume these are the LEDs?
LEDs right there.
Okay, awesome.
So yours is I believe a 4.5 meter.
Uh-huh.
We've got 5 meter and 4 meter available as well. So
The biggest thing about this thing, though, that I like so far by just looking at it right now, though, is the insulation on the wires. They're already well made in a way that they're actually heat shrink wrapped in a way that they're not going to go anywhere. And then you do have, oh, this is the one that actually connects to the module.
yep,
right?
connects right into the module.
Yeah.
And honestly, with the module too,
Yeah.
it's Wi-Fi enabled. So if you want to just use your phone and not the push button, you can.
Yeah.
The push button is preset with 10 different patterns, if you will.
But that if you guys want to do this together, like there's 3 or 4 of you want to do formation flight,
Yeah.
that you can actually synchronize them together. You did mention that, right?
You can. So you would have one master basically controlling all the different modules. And you can slave them together.
The LED are not exposed. I know I've tried it before where I actually just bought my own LED in a way that I kind of wired myself. But this is actually in a way that there's, what do you call this cover on the top?
So it's a silicone over the top. It's like an IP65, I believe, waterproofing. The nice thing about it is, like, obviously you don't want to submerge this. It'll probably survive, but no guarantees. But if it sprinkles a little bit on the drive out, or you come down, it's totally fine. And the nice thing about it too is with that protection, this one in particular, I went through probably a dozen different kinds of LEDs trying to find the right ones. Right, it has to be super light, super bright, and super protected. The other thing is this one's not too sticky.
That's lot of them say it's smooth.
Yeah, so a lot of them are really sticky. So if you want to put it on the outside of your cage, which is what I usually do on my stuff, it's going to be able to take those lines kind of coming up and slide along instead of get stuck.
You only need to put this on the outside. You can see it, the whole hoop.
Yeah.
Even though you only had it on the outside, that's what really got me interested on it.
Trying to be, simpler, less wiring, more lightweight, and also it's brighter. So there's
yes, it is much brighter.
When you there's some LED strips that'll go around both sides, and it actually works pretty well. But you'll see the LEDs are spaced out.
Yes.
This is all a continuous strip. It's called a COB, which is chip on board. That basically means it's able to put a whole lot more LEDs into the same amount of space.
Really?
So this is almost pushing 1,000 LEDs on the whole hoop. So it works out pretty well. And it actually runs a little bit more efficiently than some of the more traditional LEDs.
And with it just being on the outside, and you don't have to put another one on the inside, consumption, battery is more efficient.
Yeah, that's why we can get away with a 4,000 milliamp that we're shipping with. But the nice thing is, if you stick with 3S, you can put however big a battery on if you want. Like, so if you want to be up for 8 hours in a day and just have your strobe going, like, you're probably going to be okay. But if you want to get fancy with it,
once you start getting a little darker, you want to show off a little bit, of course. That's kind of new. So, but yeah, it's amazing. I'm kind of excited to put them on. And so, like I said, it's amazing how much lightweight it is.
Yeah.
Considering you have already all the cover on there and everything. And
it's really a compromise. Everything's a compromise. Like, you can get more diffusion of the light, but then it's a little bit less bright. It's a little dimmer, and it's also heavier. It also becomes more complex, right? So like I've played with somewhere I'm putting a polycarbonate lens over the top, which is really smooth, really distributes the light, but you've got so much more that goes into the actual installation. We're trying to make something that's easy to use, that's understandable. These components are replaceable. If something goes wrong, like we've all been there, something goes wrong, we guarantee the quality of this, of course. Like
made in USA?
Yeah, made in Indiana, in my garage, literally. So it's fun stuff. All right, so you got the instructions over here.
We got the instructions right here.
Cool. So the step one is going to be obviously read them all, look through them, all the things. I tried
Clean
to
the hoop.
exactly, clean it off, which we already did. Thank you, Andy. You know, one of the biggest things is just making sure you understand the process before you start.
And look at that, just by looking at the instruction, I didn't realize this has a group like we talked about earlier, but you also have holes for zip ties to actually go through.
They go in, and also they nest. So if you put them in from this side, you see how the opening's bigger?
Oh,
those zip ties will kind of cover it right in there. So
it won't bite your.
We've all been somewhere where we get snagged by something, we get scraped, scratched, or worst case, our lines do as we're trying to come up, you know, and get snagged. So I'm trying to really look at this. Everything's rounded over, curved, anywhere I can avoid, those snag potentials.
Yes.
So first instructions is charge battery. We already did that, so you're good to go. And it actually comes with a charger. It's not the best charger in the world. It'll take a little bit of time, but that's perfect for us. It'll do, and that's why I wanted to do it. If someone's getting this kit and they wanted to, you know, have it all in one box ready to go.
Yes, ready to go.
That way it works. But yeah, obviously, read the instructions. There's some links in here too that talk about LiPo safety, battery safety. You know, there are some hazards that come along with this, which is why we also have our LiPo bag with
And look at that. You never see this in any other product that actually sell LiPos because it's something that it will protect you just in case. Because LiPo can be volatile.
Exactly.
And that's not just for this kind of application. Any lithium polymer batteries, basically they can be punctured, and most of them most modern LiPos are safer now. There's an additive in there that's produced by the company that actually produced them that actually make it a little bit safer, but they can still be volatile.
You just got to be careful.
But look at this. This is actually extra, but it's actually in the box.
Yeah.
You know, you put it in there. What this does though is you can have the LiPo burning.
Let's hope not.
God forbid. God forbid. And this will protect you.
Yeah. It's important which side you start with, right?
Oh, okay.
So in order to make sure that the navigation lights that come standard with this on one of the presets, so you've got your red that goes on the left side of aircraft and your green on the right. Yeah. So it's going to be important which way we start with. Now, if you mess it up and you've got it all stuck down and it's all good to go, you're not SOL. Give me a call. I can send you a file to upload to your
to reverse it.
To reverse it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to start at the very middle on the top.
Okay.
So, you know, and then there's a good question of like, well, how do we find middle, right? Like, because there's a lot going on here. You got that for a second? So what I'm going to do...
legs, but I
can reach. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab our battery.
Okay.
And I'm going to grab our module.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and real quick, while I force Andy to hold that for me, we're going to put this in. Now, putting this in is really easy. There is a key where you have to slide it in.
It'll only go one way.
It'll only go one way. Slide that in. And the nice thing is you've got these locks.
Nice.
Now, I recommend that, you know, when you're doing the final install, go ahead and grab like a set of pliers and just lock them down a little bit, because like with anything, with vibration, it can get a little weird. So anyway, we got this guy set up. Let's grab our battery. Now, as I said, we did charge this up. So there we go. There's our navigation stuff going.
Look at that.
Now, the good thing about this is the steady flashing, that's right in our middle. So all we have to do is find, okay, from here to there, that's our middle. So that's going to go right there.
So that is your middle, the flashing. So it's like an indicator. Like pretty much. All right.
Exactly. So then that's going to go around like so, and we're going to be totally set. So to start out with, what I usually do is I'll take a zip tie, and I usually grab a small one here.
Okay. Oh, just to kind of
just to hold it and line it up and keep us in the right spot.
Okay.
So we're going to put this guy, I'm going to go right in here. Now when you're putting in your zips, make sure when you're doing the final zip ties, this is just a temporary.
Just to hold it.
That you put your locking piece inside. That just keeps stuff from getting snagged.
But by the way, for those people who are kind of wondering, this is a McFly, 138 millimeter hoop only, which is, you can only accommodate up to 125 prop, or propellers. I got short legs, so this is all I can fly.
It works out fine. So here's where we get to make some decisions, right?
Okay.
Obviously, we could choose to go on the inside of the hoop, or we go on the outside. So your call.
Outside.
Outside is what I recommend too. Now, the only thing about outside is, as you get into this area, sometimes you can get into some areas that are going to receive a little bit of vibration, so you got to be somewhat careful there. Obviously, too, when you get closer towards the bottom, you want to double zip and just make sure everything's locked down, right? It's important to note too, while I'm doing this, even though I've got the lights turned out,
Yeah.
it is absorbing some power. So, because it's always checking the Wi-Fi to make sure that you're not trying to turn it on via Wi-Fi and that sort of thing.
Make sure you unplug it at the end of the day.
Exactly. Unplug it. That's going to be what adds to the longevity of your battery, quite frankly. You got it right.
So is this something that they can actually cut shorter, or if this actually?
So you can cut it shorter if you want it to be. As I mentioned before, we've got this so where you can buy it. There you go. In shorter lengths. So it's a good idea to take a look and measure and decide where you want it to end. On yours, it'll probably overlap just a little bit on the bottom.
Okay.
The only issue is if you decide to cut it down, which you can, your center points aren't going to be quite right at that point in terms of where the presets
is that
are.
right?
So we ship a different set of presets on the module depending on what length you order.
Is that something that if they cut it, would they be able to reprogram it based with your program?
They could, yeah. So if you accidentally order the 5 and you decide I want that a little bit shorter, you can do it on your own. There's some instructions on there, and let Google be your friend. This is not a custom set of software that I developed. I'm using WLED. The nice thing is that app can control all the lights. As you said, you can control multiple lights with it. So if you're flying with pals and you all want to be in sync.
With everybody.
Exactly.
I haven't had it much butt landing, so I guess I'll be fine. I've had it before. I think all of you guys had that before as well.
I mean, I have. That's not a lie.
Okay.
Where do you want to run it to? Where you want to house your control module? Because you've got quite a bit of
that
tail
can
here.
go anywhere, right?
It can go anywhere. So wherever you want to go with at this point, that's
part of me is I want to just go ahead and go by the throttle.
So what I'm doing right here is I'm pre-stringing these zip ties in here for you. And what I do is I try to angle it so that, because you're going to want to use your other hand to do it.
Perfect.
So you reach over and just grab it.
So what, maybe facing that way?
Yeah,
That's
perfect. Huge thanks, honestly, to my wife. She's my CAD designer.
Oh,
so
is that
she
right?
set up all these.
You're kidding me. She actually does it for you?
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife cooks.
Hey, my wife bakes like nobody's business. So.
She cooks and I bake.
That sounds like a good division of labor.
There you go, that's right.
All right, last one. There we go. And obviously, if you decide you don't like where it is, cut these off and then, decide where you want
Reroute
to
it, kind of thing.
Just reroute it, yeah. Colors available on request.
Oh.
You're good.
We have a flyer cutter.
Yeah.
Cut itself.
It's all good. So yeah, at this point, I'm just kind of rolling this back, and I'm going to follow along the path that your throttle's taken already.
And I'm just going to secure this in a way in the back, so at least it's not flopping around.
Yeah, exactly. And then the instructions have a few ideas of where we recommend that you actually put that.
Okay.
But obviously, you know your rig better than I know your rig, so as you see fit.
So there's other people out there that think about getting one of these. I mean, they can pretty much install it the way they want it to, as long as they follow most of the instructions that's supposed to be to make it work better.
For sure. And that's another good point, is as you're doing this, any modification you make, always pre-flight. Always check your equipment, make sure you're being safe. I mean, that's the whole point of this thing, is to have lights there so that others can see us a little bit more effectively, potentially.
So I'll hand this to you, because there you go.
We come up this side.
Yep, one up that
Hey,
side.
you want to come through here?
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. There we go.
And we got plenty.
Oh, we got tons. We got tons.
And I'm glad how you did it that way, that you put enough wires on there, so.
I mean, the idea is that you should have enough to route this wherever you want it to be.
Yeah.
And be in a position to make it your own, right?
Perfect.
There we go.
Looks like a simple. What is that? It took us what?
We talked more than we did.
Yeah, we did. We must say that, what, 10 minutes or so, maybe the most?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would make sure that you zip tie this down here a little bit more efficiently, obviously securely. But then you got your module. You got these two leads. You put your module wherever you want it, and then you've got your battery bag, and you're set. Like, that's pretty much it.
There you go.
There you are.
Oh my God, look at that.
What do you think, man?
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah, well, hopefully this serves you well, keeps you safe. that's really the biggest thing, is trying to be as obvious as we can, especially with the nav lights. How's the centering?
The centering is pretty much perfect right where it needs to be.
Perfect.
The thing that I like that you did on the nav lights is how much you put on each side of it.
Yeah, I started
not
out
just
smaller, and I was like, no, it
No,
needs to be
no,
more.
no.
So
Yeah, it's visibility, isn't it key?
yeah.
And you're right, you do have the strobe on the top already to begin with.
Yep.
So for those people that want to get a strobe and you have this, you don't have to get a strobe because you do have a strobe on the top already.
Yeah.
Yes.
Meets the definition. So
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Turn back the light back on.
yeah.
Just one thing, I'll be back real quick, right?
Yeah, what you got?
I got something here.
Never know with Andy. All right.
For those of you who are wondering, because this is the biggest thing about when you're actually launching is the snap.
Yeah.
You know, you think you might slow it down, and next time you do it, one side is coming up, then the other side back.
Yeah.
And there you go.
I mean, it rolls right along.
It
It's not
rolls
going
right
to get
along.
cut
Yeah.
into it too bad, because
Yeah.
this is pretty robust.
Yeah.
Now, if you are worried about it,
Yeah.
there are materials. You can get polycarbonate sheets that go over there and actually help to diffuse it even
Yes.
more.
Mhm.
The problem with that is, like, you're gonna have to put zip ties, all over the
All
place
over the
to
place.
really hold it down. So yeah, the only thing
Yes.
you've got left to do here, Andy, is put a few zip ties in.
Yeah.
Make sure you've got everything around it
Yeah.
how you want it, and then just go rip it, man. Have fun.
Yes. This is amazing product.
Hey, man, I'm
Amazing
so
product,
excited
yes.
you got it, man. I'm so
Yes,
excited.
yes. This is something that I always wanted to have one that actually is for this thing.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of did it one for myself before.
Yeah.
As you know, you get 2 or 3, and then next time you know it, the wiring is falling apart.
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing. So this is legit. Really nice. Really nice.
Awesome. Well, I hope you enjoy it, man. Tell
Oh,
your
definitely.
friends. And I mean, you can go to secret-squirrel for any questions. I have different stuff on there. You can buy the kit that has everything. You can buy the kit without the battery if you already have one and a charger. Like trying to make it as unique as all the different paramotors are that are out there. I mean, with the different sizes, the different.
And you do have a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Title
Subscribe and push the like button.
Yeah, there you go. Like, subscribe, smash that bell, as they say.
Yeah.
It does help. But hopefully you guys enjoy it, and we'll see you flying with these soon.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you
bro.
very much.
Love
Thank
you,
you.
bro.
Thank you.
Love you.